All right, today is the 6th of May, New York session, and we are trading the DAX and the NASDAQ. So coming into the market right now, the market's about to open in about 10 minutes. We have some news dropping at 4:30, crude oil inventories. I'm just gonna mark it out like so, just to keep it in mind that there are news coming. News. All right, and we have the DAX right here. So we are obviously bullish. We have a break of structure to the upside. We are continuing to the upside. We have not yet reached the all-time high, but we might pretty soon. Maybe at the end of this week if it goes the way it usually goes. Like usually the way if it has been going this week. Bullish Tuesday, bullish Wednesday London session, maybe bullish right now on the New York session. We have a 1 hour fair value gap right here that's been tapped into, and it's reacting off of it, right? So I'm gonna mark out these 15-minute liquidities on this side, and it doesn't look like it's gonna give us any school run today. Right, jumping on to NASDAQ. Same thing here. Exactly the same thing. It taps into the 1 hour fair value gap right there, the 15-minute. There's this 15-minute liquidity resting right here. There's also a 1 hour liquidity resting down here. This is the low. This is also the low of the London session right there. All right. Market's about to open in 6 minutes, and we are waiting basically. 6:30. All right, there's not much to do. Just sitting and waiting. All right, market just opened right now. Let's see. Let's go. All right, summer plans. I wrote a post about this during the summer in the community about summer plans. I'm not sure what it is. Summer plans, stepping away from trading. So I asked, like, are you stepping away from trading? Are you leaving the charts this summer? And basically, not many people have taken a break during the summer. That that's very interesting. July are usually the month where I take the break because during July it's like 4 trades the entire month. If I check my journal and if I check the way I trade during the summer, July is usually the month that has the least volatility of all. July and Christmas times. So when day trading, July will usually be the month where I take a break and step away from the charts. I don't really step away that much, like maybe a week. I don't even check the charts, but the rest of the time I'm still looking at the charts. I'm not really taking trades. I'm just observing the market, what it's doing. So I don't. It's like going to the gym. Like leaving the gym totally, you will get back with soreness as soon as you get back. So it's interesting to see that people are not taking a break right here. Um, my plan this summer, I'm watching a lot of Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien. What's his name? Jordan Schlansky. Italy trip. I don't know if you're familiar with that. So they did a trip to Italy, and I got so inspired by doing this. So I have a plan to just, either take a flight to Milan and just rent a car from the 1970s, like an old car, no radio, and just drive through the entire port of Italy to Bologna, to Florence, to Siena, to the coast, to Pisa, to Rome, and just eat as much as I can. Pizza, pasta, pasta, pizza. Yeah, we will see. If you've been to Italy, I'd love for you to recommend something if you've been there. There we go. Liquidity just got swept on the 15 minutes. Wow, we've been there 12 times. Look at that. Nice. But one thing about Italy, like I'm watching videos of pizzas, the marinara and the margherita, and the pizzas they're doing over there. I'm not really. It doesn't look that appetizing to me, to be honest, because I like the pizza, like the New York crust, to be like not soggy. I don't like the Neapolitanian pizza. What do you call it? So I get a lot of Krispy Kreme pizza. Krispy Kreme? It's crispy pizza Brooklyn, something like that. These crispy pizza. I got a lot of these on my shorts. They do the square pizza pie. And this one bite, everybody knows the rules. Right, I'm waiting for just as did a liquidity sweep. I'm waiting for a high to be closed as a break of structure before I enter the trade. Let me prepare the broker. Right. What stop loss entry are you planning right now? Right now, I'm looking at basically that we are continuing the trend to the upside. That's what I'm looking at. And looking at the higher time frame, that's because if you look at the higher time frames, you can see a breakup structure down here, and the market's basically continuing to the upside. It's not a very clear indication that we are going to the upside, but that's how the way the market looks like. And we have a fair value gap on the 1 hour right here. So what I'm seeing the market doing right now, coming up, touching the 50% mark of the 1 hour, taking out some liquidities, and then continuing to the upside, right? So we go down to the 15-minute, we mark out liquidities. There are 15-minute liquidity. I might be doing this way too quick, but these lows are indication of liquidity areas. Liquidity right here, right there. So I'm waiting for it to give me a reaction and then continue to the upside. If it doesn't give me a reaction on this liquidity area, I'm waiting for it to sweep liquidity on this 15-minute and then continue to the upside, right? And the reaction we are waiting for right now is the liquidity sweep that has been done right there. I'm jumping to the Nasdaq also to check so I don't miss something. Sorry about that. And if it doesn't give us a reaction to the upside, I will continue waiting for it to sweep this liquidity area right there. So in Sweden, we have the sun is coming out. And as soon as the sun is coming out, our eyes become red and our noses become itchy because of pollen. You hear that? Pollen, allergies. Yeah. And you can see that this is continuing to the downside. And it took out this liquidity area. So this can just be removed right there. Now we're waiting for another reaction to the upside if it's planning to give us one. Yeah, see? I'm preparing to take a long right now, very soon on the DAX. I'm checking if there are more lows. So the other low of this is right there. So this might continue all the way. I don't believe it does. 150 points. This will probably continue to the upside. If this closes, I'm gonna probably just take it without waiting for a fair value gap. No, it didn't close. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for this wick to be closed over the body of the candle. When these moves happen, it usually means that the market's just gonna run. I'm holding on. I'm not taking anything. It's created a fair value gap right there in the middle. It did a clean break of structure. I'm going to take the trade. I'm taking a long position right here, a buy position. And if it continues to the downside to take out this fair value gap, I might enter again. So I'm currently in a long position right here. The fill was not that good. I just want to see it better. I put a stop right here. This might give me an invalid fair value gap. Right, enter the trade right there. So I'm inside two buy positions right now. I just waited for this candle to close. This was a beautiful entry. This right here. Like really on the low also. And now I'm hoping that the Nasdaq is continuing to the upside, continuing this move to the upside, because that gives us an indication that the DAX is also moving to the upside. So I'm waiting right now. I'm currently in the other position. I did an entry. I got filled right there. That is fine. Right. Let me see. Where do we take profit? This is the fun part, right? To mark out where we can take profit. So there is a fair value gap right there that it can reverse from. So I'm expecting the market to just tap into this, maybe stay in this area a little bit and then continue to the upside. So I'm planning for it to have a bit of a drawdown or a reaction of the fair value gap and then continue into the upside. Do we have any fair value gaps now? We had the 1 hour candle that's about to be closed in 19 seconds. There we go. The 1 hour candle closed. You know what? I'm gonna leave this just to get. Ah, Nasdaq's continuing to the downside. We'll see. Okay, the Nasdaq is continuing to the downside. Let's see if the DAX is following through with that. There's a 1 hour candle being created. That's a strong move to the downside. See now it's continuing to the upside. Um, I'm just gonna go back to why I drew this. Like this is a you can feel free to do it. Feel free to draw these lines because I drew this just to give my mind, like our mind needs structure and perspective. Now I'm not saying it's gonna maybe it just goes to this direction and continues and takes me out. But because there is a fair value gap on the 5 minute right here, I'm expecting the market to do a reversal to the downside because it can test the fair value gap area on the 50 minute, on the 5 minute, on the 50% mark. So I don't, the emotions. I'm expecting because I already drew it. This is what can happen, and it is what happened. And it gave me more ease because my mind is telling me this is okay because of the fair value gap, and we have already marked out our take profit areas. I'm gonna see what the market's about to do. I might take full profit on the first take profit area. I'm waiting for it to do its thing. I see the Nasdaq is continuing cleanly to the upside. The reason for it, I'm usually taking the trade on the 1 minute and then moving over to the 5 minute and 15 minute just to have it more slower in the movements because the 1 minute gives you so much noise almost. Um, I have a friend, he trades on the 15 second, and that is, if you think this is quick, you should see the 15 second one. All right, taking profit at this high is also a good place to take profit because the market can reverse down from this area and we can put our stop loss to break even. Setting an alert on the first take profit. I'm seeing a spike down on NQ. I'm taking my first TP right here. Moving stop loss to break even. Just make this right. There is news in about 9 minutes. This is what my mind is doing right now. Is this spike right here on Nasdaq, is this spike going to be replicated on the DAX and create the same spike down? Or do we wait for it to reach? That's why I took profit, right there. Where did I take profit? Second, 1, 2. This is where I took profit. Looking at it, I'm looking also at if it's going to break structure to the downside. I'm just going to remove it so I can have a better view. Yeah, we will see what it does. Either takes me out at as at break even, or we will see. As soon as it breaks through this area, it's gonna continue to this take profit. Yeah, we're right there. Anytime, glad to hear that. Yeah, there we go. Nasdaq continue into the bullish side. The DAX might also continue to the bullish side. This can also, you can see that there are not a lot of lows. So this can also be maximized with the take profit until there is a break of structure going to the downside. And then one takes one, the take profit right there. Because this can just spike through it. I have my take profit marked out. And hit yet. I'm waiting for it. It's fine. There we go. Right. That's about it. Nice trade today. 2 TPS hit today and in the London session. Right. It's going good. All right, let's do a short recap of why I took this trade and the execution behind this. So if we go to the higher time frames, I'm just going to open the window. Oh no. If we go to the higher time frames, this is what we were looking at. There are higher time frames break of structure going right here. If I jump to the 4-hour, we usually don't look at the 4-hour, but still, we usually see that, or we saw that there's a break of structure right here. And there is also a break of structure in this area, but it's not clear because of the gap that's happening. Now, if we jump back to the 1-hour, you can see that there's a break of structure to the 1-hour right here, and how the market is typically moving to the upside. But there is a fair value gap right here on the 1-hour that the market wanted to retest, take out some liquidity, and then continue to the upside. So we jumped down to the 15-minute, and we saw that there was liquidity resting right there, and there's liquidity resting right there. We didn't get a reaction to the upside on the first liquidity sweep. We didn't get any break of structure. We got one on the second one. It swept liquidity on the 15-minute. It gave us a break of structure on this candle right here. My idea from the beginning was to, because when these kind of lows are created, it usually doesn't stop. It usually just continues to the upside, like it did right here. And I usually just take it on the break of structure, but it didn't. This candle right here didn't give me a break of structure, so I didn't take it. So this second candle broke structure. I took my first entry, I don't exactly, not someplace right there, and I waited for it to do a fair value gap reaction on this area, and this is what I took my second entry, which was beautiful, beautiful entry right there on the fair value gap reaction, and this is what I entered, and I took basically, let's make it right, I took my first take profit right there if we are being correct. because I saw that it was returning to the downside. Took my first take profit on this area. I saw that the Nasdaq was creating a low, a clear low, so I didn't want to get stuck in that movement, and I still wanted to take some profit. So I took some profit, partial profits, and I moved my stop loss to break even. This was a 0.5 x 2% trade. Um, and then we reversed the downside and now continued to the upside to take out our second take profit right here. Beautiful trade, beautiful movement. We were about, this trade took about 40 minutes. It didn't feel like 40 minutes, to be honest, but it took 40 minutes to hit our take profit. Now, you can still, you can see that there's lows created right here, right? You can just follow along until the lows is breaking, and then you take profit if you want to do that. All right, that's about it. There was news, by the way. The news, that's what happened. The news gave us this spike, which I missed. No, the news were bearish, but still give us a spike to the upside. Anyhow, anyway, that was today, guys. Hope you learned something from this session right here. I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna see you if you trade the London session tomorrow. I'm gonna see you tomorrow in the London session. If not, then we meet again in the New York session tomorrow. All right. Take care and have a beautiful day.